Aurora, Sandy Hook, San Bernardino, Orlando, Sutherland Springs, Nashville, Pittsburgh, Poway, Midland and Odessa, Boulder, Buffalo, Uvalde. When does it end?
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. But with both having decades of hosting experience under their belt, the one thing we are sure of is you will be entertained. This is the Escape Pod Cast, a weekly look into the mobile game Star Wars, Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the Nerdy Network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast.
Boy, do we have a lot to talk about this week, Paul.
Yeah, from a Juhani Omicron to Proving Grounds, we are not going to lack for topics this week.
GAC changes yet again.
Well, I actually look forward to your take on these changes.
But it also throws off the cadence for GA Center.
Oh, but Neil, I've got an idea regarding how to address that, if I may, that I think you're going to really like.
Okay, we can discuss that tonight.
Well, as long as they don't change it yet again so quickly.
Yes, but back to the Proving Grounds thing, please, Paul.
Yeah, it's going to be useful, but, I already know that some people are not so happy about it.
I mean, do you blame them for being unhappy? Come on.
I don't think the unhappy people have an honest leg to stand on.
Whoa, wait, what? Excuse me?
They have some good points, but I'm not letting them anywhere near those pitchforks.
Well, I can't wait to hear what cockamamie idea you have to defend yourself.
Well, how about we bring this up in our second segment, and I'm going to bring my favorite weapon, numbers.
Oh, God. All right, then. You got a favorite of ours this week for incoming transmission, don't you?
Oh, yes, I do. Last week, our friend Gridan posted a Reddit post that got a lot of attraction.
Oh, I think I saw this one. About what he thinks should happen to help new players come along in the game.
Yeah, and while there are some that I agree with, I have to ask him what in the space hell he's thinking on some others.
He has been a champion of the people for quite some time now.
And that is why I wanted to get him on before he runs off to the Gridsy session.
The final scheduled airing of this month's Dickie and the Noob.
With Patreon's choice on the bridge with an announcement for next week.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Escape Pod Cast. I'm your host, the Nev, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Paul Anthony. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing well, but Bob's in sleep mode.
Bob's in sleep. Oh, great. Okay, so yeah, he's your responsibility. You're in charge of Bob at the moment, so it's all your fault. I'm blaming you.
All right. Well, yeah, it's a little bit of a problem. We won't have.
It just means
Bob.
we don't. It just means we don't have. We don't have a like an AI fact checker for stuff. We'll just have to try and be as on the ball as possible.
Before we get into the shenanigans today, we'd like to send a very, very heartfelt condolences to the 500 and Worst Alliance, part of the Guild, part of the Scariff Beach Alliance. They lost one of their good members, Sanch Master, to cancer, I believe either yesterday or the day before. So, we definitely want to show some love to that group. Part of that group is one of our good friends, Lord of the Darts. So our love to you and the guild. So, all right, Neil, where do we want to start? I mean, let's say I'll say something. This. We'll save proving grounds for segment 2 because I'm coming at you with numbers. But let's go ahead and get into, I don't know. Let's get into the GAC change.
Yeah, another change to GAC.
Oh, but before that, Hondo. We're still waiting. We did not hear back from Jim Cummings yet. So it's going to be something that I'm going to have to send them later on. But we are almost at 500 signatures on the petition. I wanted 1,000. I'll be happy with 500. Circulate the petition, change.org/giveushondo. Far and wide if you can. Just go get it up to 500 signatures. We are at, let me pull up the numbers right now. We are currently sitting at a total of, it's going to do its little animation of how many have signed. We're at 467. So we only need 33 more to hit that 500. So
nice.
Sam Account X, thank you very much for subscribing for your 25th month. Good grief, Karga, how did I miss the big 2 year? I'm not sure, Sam, but we certainly appreciate it. All right. Grand Arena. Let me pull it up. Scheduling update. Yesterday we mentioned in June's event calendar, it looks a little different than usual. This is due to an upcoming title update. We do not want to launch in the middle of a Grand Arena Championship or Territory Wars. We'll have more to say on the title update in the future, but we wanted to share info on what's actually changing along with the schedule and how we're adjusting rewards to match our usual schedule. Grand Arena Championships will have an extra week between events. So we're going to have
a 2 week break.
A 2 week break.
Mm-hmm. That's nothing. I mean, we've had 2 week. We've had longer than 1 week breaks before when they've been changing things. So it does kind of make sense. They've done this before. It's no surprise they're doing it again.
Yeah. We're going to be getting 1,500 championship tokens spread out over 7 days.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
And 1,500 crystals spread out over 7 days.
You sure? I thought it was 375 crystals every day.
Every other day.
Oh, it's every other day. Okay.
Yep. 375, 500 championship tokens. 375 crystal, 500 championship tokens. They'll be opening and closing with the crystals.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Going forward in June and beyond, Grand Arena Championships will be 3 weeks on, 1 week off, instead of 4 weeks on and 1 week off.
Yeah, no, I actually like this is the one step forward that CG made. As far as I'm concerned, this is a good step forward for CG. It compresses everything into a calendar month. There's no overlap between months. There's no awkwardness. Every single month there is a GAC, 3 weeks, and then a gap at the 1 week pause at the end. And the biggest benefit of it all being we are going to get more end of tournament rewards per calendar year in the new format than we have with the old one. Because obviously 4 weeks, you get your rewards, a 1 week break. 4 weeks, get your rewards, have a break. So we're going to be getting more. Those end of month crystal rewards, for your final division position, you know, whether it's Kyber or Rhodium or whatever, you're going to get them more. Yes, it does say that will be getting less arena currency, but you're going to be getting more crystals. So, you know, I really don't think it's going to be that much of an issue.
Yes and no. We get more over the course of a year. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
over the course of a year, you get more. Yeah.
They've decreased stuff, including championship tokens in the end of season prizes.
Yeah, the championship tokens are what have been reduced. They didn't say that they've reduced what you're going to get crystal wise at the end of a month, at the end of a GAC month. Just they only said that it's the tokens that you're going to be reduced. Didn't say nothing about reducing the crystals.
Well, if you are getting 146 crystals a day from your Grand Arena payouts, you're going to go up to 148. You get 2 extra crystals per day. That's the biggest jump at 0.9%. Our crystal income is going up less than 1%, and in a lot of cases, up in the top echelon, it's 0.25% going up. Maybe a third.
They did. But I think what they're trying to do is encourage and garner more engagement from the lower divisions by giving. They said that, you know, they're going to start dishing out more crystal rewards in the lower divisions because, you know, you kind of you need to give some incentive for those lower division participants and competitors to want to try and push and get promoted to the higher ones. So I'm totally on board with that. I think it's great because, you know, everybody outside of Chromium kind of got screwed over, really. You know, so yeah, I think that's it. I think this is a welcome change. Like I said, these GAC changes I think are very, very welcome. A big step forward for CG.
It's a step forward, but also note this, Neil. It's a lot more movement as well. Because you didn't change leagues until the end of a division. So instead of...
Sorry, what?
You didn't change leagues until the end of a season.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. I see what you're talking about.
I might have said it differently there. I apologize. But after 3 weeks, you can get shoved down. Now, of course, after 3 weeks, you could get promoted. I'm talking about the difference between Kyber and Rhodium.
Yeah, no, they changed it, didn't they? They changed it so that instead of the relegations and the promotions occurring at the end of the month, which is what it was originally, and I think that was great. Prior to this 3v3, they changed it in the 5v5 to it being done. Sorry, no, it wasn't a month; it was every week. They changed it to a round, and that's just made it a nightmare. So you could.
That's not the leagues. The league division only happens at the beginning and end of a month. The division changes happen at the end of every round now.
Yeah, which just sucks. They need to put it back to weekly. Yeah, needs to be put back to weekly. I really, really hate the single round changes. I do. I absolutely mega loathe them. I got relegated from Division 3 to Division 4 in week 1 of 3v3 because I went 0-3. I then went 3-0 the following week. Did I get promoted back to Division 3? No. So I'm a complete and utter loss. How I can go 0-3 and be relegated from Division 3 to 4, then the immediate week after go 3-0 but not get promoted back to Div 3 makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Your wins were not as quality as your losses.
Oh no, my wins were quality because I got a full clear round 1, a full clear round 2. All right, I didn't quite get the full clear in round 3, but I still did it.
But your opponents average skill over the past, I think the way it's working is the average skill over the past 30 days influences how much you gain and how much you lose depending on your win or loss.
Mm-hmm.
So
all I know is I was pissed. I was annoyed. I'm sorry, but getting relegated with a 0-3 and then not getting promoted for doing the exact same thing in the other direction, yeah, it annoyed the crap out of me, that. Yeah. And I'm not having a good week.
They said there's a very minor increase to the average amount of crystals earned each day, but most importantly, players will not be earning less crystals on average. Unless they absolutely suck and, plummet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The shorter overall schedule also means the week off will occur more frequently, but the end of event rewards will occur more frequently. To that end, we will be making some changes to balance out the rewards to make the table above possible, which that's what I referred to.
Yeah.
They're increasing the crystal rewards for a loss in the bottom 4 leagues: Carbonite, Bronzium, Chromium.
That's great.
They're increasing crystal rewards for winning in Carbonite to get out of that bottom tier.
Yeah. It just allows people to spend more on their accounts, upgrade their characters, upgrade their squads, and try and push for the better leagues.
And increase the per tournament 3-round event payout of championship tokens and mod slicing materials.
Yeah. That extra mod slicing material is definitely going to
That's definitely good because mods is the end game. It always has been.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. And so they also let us know. Additionally, we have some extra events running during the Grand Arena off week of June 6th to June 12th. These are a one-time thing to cover up the additional time gap between Grand Arena Championships for this month. There will be an extra Assault Battle and Galactic Challenge during this time, and there will be 4 Territory Wars instead of 2 in a row. And then the last little kicker that I would have put, they buried the lead on this. Conquest will no longer start on the first Monday of every month. Instead, it will be tied to a 28-day 4-week cycle.
Yeah. They're going to tie it to GAC. I'm hopeful. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they do the 2-week conquest at the end as the last 2 weeks of every month, so that the second half of conquest falls during the 1-week break of GAC. If CG want more engagement on Conquest, it would make sense for them to do that, because then, they might get, not from me, but they might get some more engagement from other members of the community because they don't have to worry about GAC.
When does the average player push the hardest in Conquest? When do you think
during the first week?
During the first week. I'm hoping
the second week is more chilled, trying to, go for the feats and stuff like that.
I'm hoping the first week falls in the gap. And then the second week, when you're no longer moving your mods around because you've gotten enough data disks to, solo with your eyes closed.
That would mean straddling Conquest over the first and last week of 2 different months. I can't see them doing that. I mean, they might. I just can't see them doing that.
28-day 4-week cycle. So, yeah. The other thing that I want to see happen is them not put Conquest during light side territory battles.
The crossover between either Conquest and territory battles or GAC and territory battles, it's always going to be a pain in the ass, is that? Because, there's so much in the game.
With GAC, your mods lock. You can lock your roster. With territory battles and Conquest, you can't. That's why I'm saying that it needs to be put there. And then, does this also mean, Neil, if they're going to be doing a 28-day, 4-week cycle, are we going to see the return of Monday through Sunday territory battles to the point where we're getting a territory battle Monday through Sunday, sign up for territory war the following Monday, one ends, the other begins, and then as territory wars ends the second time, territory battles begin. So the only real gap that you have between them is going to be the day that territory battles ends and the day that and the following day when territory battles begins. Wolffeld does point out it's prep for Datacrons. Datacrons always line up for Grand Arena Championships. That Datacron doesn't expire until the middle. That a Datacron doesn't expire in the middle of a GAC. That could very, very well also be true that Datacrons will be tied to a 28-day cycle.
Yeah. Well, the information that we saw did kind of allude to the fact that the Datacrons were going to be on a monthly schedule, with the one that you get at the first expiring after the third month. So, the Wolf does make,
month,
calendar month.
You can't hear me air quoting here. Month.
Yeah. So that's why I think that they're more likely to do Conquest either during the first 2 weeks of a month or during the last 2 weeks of a month. They're going to try and squeeze all of this stuff in so that there's as little overlap as possible between events from month to month to month to month, especially if they do introduce the Datacrons. Because if they definitely cast iron 100% introduce the Datacrons, then they're going to want everything to fall into that month in order to actually get people that might invest in it. Because if there's any crossover between events or months, people will be like, oh, well, why would I invest in those Datacrons? Because I'm not going to be able to take advantage of those Datacrons because of the crossover between, the last week of that month and the first week of the other. So it could kind of screw things over. So I just think they're trying to make everything nice and neat and tidy so that it all fits into calendar months.
Dr. Feelgood says there's nothing wrong with the 28-day cycle. It's pure. It's natural. Take it from a doctor.
Yeah. No, Moon's on a 28-day cycle. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Okay, so how is this? Let's discuss this for a moment. How is this going to affect GA Center? My question to you, Neil. American sports are usually played in 4 quarters instead of 2 halves. If you continue the 3 GAC seasons, that would put it more along the lines of the Canadian game we all know and love called hockey, ice hockey. So, are you more inclined to do 4 quarters so you get 5-3-5-3, as in 5v5 and 3v3 if they're going to alternate, or do you want to leave it up to the wills of the force and let it stay 3v3, 5v5, 3v3 one season and then 5-3-5 the second season?
There's no way to know what the cadence is going to be. Going off previous cadences, before the last update, before version 2, because obviously when they did version 2, we only got 5v5s. We didn't get any 3v3s. We only got 5v5s.
Right.
And the thing is, a season is usually 36 rounds.
Right.
So, a season would just get bumped down to 27 rounds. That's all.
See, I think that you should do it. If they are going to go 5-3-5-3, alternating I really do think to crown the best
Oh yeah,
in the season
if,
to do quarters.
yeah, no. If they stick, I mean, if I can get like, if I can, I will send a DM to Crumb and ask him and speak to him, because whenever they've made changes to GAC, he's always taken my call, and I usually have a conversation with him for about an hour with regards to the changes that they make to GAC and getting clarification so I can incorporate some changes in GA Center. So if it does look like the cadence is going to be like it was before version 2 of GAC, which was 3v3, then 5v5, 3v3, 5v5, then yeah, I wouldn't be adverse to doing it that way, because it keeps it. I mean, it still maintains a 36 round season. It's just that the 36 rounds are split over 4 months instead of split over 3 months. So yeah,
I was just gonna say, if they do 5-5-3, 5-5-3, then I totally can see you wanting to do continue it at 3 seasons, because I would love to see it evenly split. So those who excel at 3v3 don't have a unfair advantage over those that excel at 5v5.
Yeah,
just my thoughts.
I will speak to Crumb. I will, I'll DM him and ask him if he can give me an hour on Zoom just to, talk about it. But he's probably not going to know if it's going to be a permanent cadence, because I can see them waiting and seeing and checking out what the metrics are. We know roughly we get about 500,000 to 600,000 people actively engaging in GAC. Now, let's say, for example,
I have numbers.
Yeah, let's say, for example, if that number drops off a cliff because of 3v3, I can see them sticking with 5v5, but throwing 3v3 in occasionally as maybe like a novelty, just to kind of stop things from getting stale.
Sam account says Crumb's been out on a leave of absence for paternity. We do know that.
Yeah,
He's
been on. Yeah. Oh yeah, we know he's been. Yeah, I mean he should be back off. I mean he should be back off paternity by. He should be back off paternity by next month. I don't know. It depends. I mean he's had like a couple months paternity. What's the paternity leave in California? I have no idea. I don't know what the time period is for paternity.
Or what is it for Electronic Arts / Capital Games?
Yeah, true. The a company might have a separate private policy. Like for example, in the UK, paternity leave is literally paternity leave is 2 and 4. So you can take 2 weeks off that you get paid. You can take an additional 4 weeks off paternity leave if you like, but it's unpaid in the UK. Maternity leave is 100% paid, and paternity leave is 2 weeks and 4 unpaid. So yeah, but that, different people, different strokes, different folks, different states, different company, different regulations. So hopefully he'll be off. I'll send him a DM and just say, look, when you get back off paternity leave, hit me up. Need to have a discussion with you about GAC so that I can, tweak things for GA Center.
Dickie Darkside says the fact that we now have a 3v3 specific Omicron says 3v3 is unfortunately back to a regular cadence, and that is a very, very good point. Jackick says he's been gone just long enough to ruin the game.
Well, I yes, I mean in the old system, 3v3 then 5v5, 3v3, the alternate each month did kind of make sense. Obviously, then they moved to version 2, and all we got was 5v5. Then we moved to version 3, and all we got was 5v5 until this last month. So we might get a new type of cadence. But like I said, I think it depends entirely on the metrics and the engagement. If there is less engagement for 3v3 than 5v5, I could see them doing something like 2 months of 5v5 and then a 3v3, 2 of 5v5 and then a 3v3. Something like that would, keep people engaged in GAC, because we all got so used to 5v5 And there was very few people out there in the community complaining, saying, "Oi, CG, when are we going to get 3v3? Come on, I want." Nobody was saying we want it. We were silent. Everybody was like, if we don't talk about it, maybe they won't bring it back.
Yeah.
That's what everybody was doing. Everybody was like, if we don't talk about it, maybe they won't bring it back. Because nobody was talking about, oh, I missed 3v3 so much, I wish they'd bring it back. Nobody was doing that. So I think it will depend on the metrics. They'll look at the metrics and they'll be like, we need people to remain engaged because we want them spending money in order to get Omicrons, in order to be better at GAC. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
By the way, we could also try, when we have a representative at Celebration tomorrow, to hand them the Hondo package that I've lovingly put together.
Yeah.
We could see if we could possibly get an answer to that, because, Neil, I know for a fact that Meathead is at Celebration.
Okay, that's good.
So
somebody to hand it directly to, then that's good.
So we're looking forward to that. We may stream it live if it's done at the right time, or if not, we'll get it recorded and we'll play it for you guys next week. But once again, before we go to break, I want to put out the call. Change.org/giveushondo. We're 33 away from 500. I need to be at 500 by 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, so we can safely give them those 500 signatures. So, Thad says, I'm waiting for Dave Filoni to wear a shirt that says Hondo lives.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, I don't think we're going to get time to talk about Juhani's Omicron.
No, probably not. But they CG throws Omicrons around like confetti these days. There's nothing surprising about them.
Yeah, we'll definitely find out here in just a moment. But coming up after this break, Neil, I'm taking off the gloves.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like it? I don't care. We'll be talking about Proving Grounds after the break right here on the Escape Pod cast. HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with the digital features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or territory wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Welcome into the Patreon leaderboard, brought to you by the Patreons of the Escape Podcast. If you'd like to see your name up here, just like you see the streamers' names in GA Center right here on the Twitch channel, we'd love to have you. Join at patreon.com/theescapepod at the Kyber Combatant level. Once again, patreon.com/theescapepod at the Kyber Combatant level or higher. And you can join us next month, 2 weeks away from that time being the deadline. D goes 1-2, 1,178 banners, 12 wins, 2 losses, 10 holds. Seeing only 12 wins tells me why he went 1-2. D, come on, brother. Dr. JoJo goes 2-1, 6,015 banners, 54 wins, 7 losses, 14 holds. And he says another 2-1 that could have been a 3-0. Round 1 opponent lost to more teams, or than he beat 2. Round 2, he decided to try Iden versus CLS, C3PO, and Chupio, and lost. He cleaned up with a Ray solo, but then he lost the match by 5 banners. I know how that feels. I did the same thing just earlier this week. Round 3, his opponent never got to see his JMK and Ray hiding in the back because it took him 3 battles to beat the Emperor and Starkiller. 4 battles to beat CLS, C3PO, and Chupio. And he failed to clear Lord Vader after 3 battles. So he got to try things out on offense. He says Wampa solo on C, for example, he full cleared him. Nice job, Dr. JoJo. Let's move on to 4 Strong, who goes 1-2. 866 banners. 10 wins, 1 loss, 7 holds. Now, let's go on to Hot Sauce, who goes 2-1 with 4,986 banners. Didn't get very much in the way of banners, even though he's in the same division as Dr. JoJo, but let's see that he got 51 wins, took 35 losses. Let me just double check. Yes, 35 losses, 37 holds. It was a slugfest for Hot Sauce this week. And finally, Sephiranus says, 2-1. Round 1 lost a tie by playing a few battles, too safe thinking he was not going to win. Round 2, they didn't show, so hey, free crystals. Round 3, 2.5 million punch up, and the dude set all random G8 to G10 characters. Mopped the floor with the guy and not sure what the deal was. Let's take a look at the final boards. Dr. JoJo 4-2, Hot Sauce 4-2. Banners is the difference. Sephiranus, then 4 Strong, both at 3-3, so it's anybody's game going in these last 2 weeks. And then D at 1-5. Love to see you. Once again, sign up at patreon.com/theescapepod, and we'll get you in at the Kyber Combatant level or higher. We would love to feature you in this segment as well. Now time for more of the Escape Pod cast. Be nice to each other, damn it.
We want you. Join the GAC Chain Gang today. This is the commander of the 506 Procrastination Battalion and the leader of the GAC Chain Gang. I am sending out a call to action for any SWGOH content creators on Twitch who would be willing to broadcast their GAC attack rounds. We are an amazing group of content creators who are dedicated on streaming the Grand Arena Championship attack rounds on Twitch. The idea is to provide continuous content back to back from one streamer to the next and allow the viewers to enjoy more SWGOH content, as well as enjoy the variety of streamers that are currently present in the group. If you are interested in joining the Chain Gang, please reach out to myself on Discord at AndyBeads, #7465, or you can send us a message on our Twitter page at ChainGAC. Join us today. We have your back.
You're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk Proving Grounds.
The reboot didn't work on.
Yeah, the reboot didn't
Bob.
work. Okay, so we're just gonna have to deal without Bob. That's all.
All right.
We lived without AI before. We can live without AI for a week. You know.
Well, I know that my numbers are true. So
This is not about numbers.
oh yeah, it is. Oh yes, it is.
No, it isn't. This has got nothing to do with numbers and everything to do with CG saying one thing when they first announced it, and then when they give it to us, it being different from what they were originally purposing the event to do. That's my issue, not numbers. They said one thing and then they gave us something completely different. That's my issue.
Flashback, April 14th, 2022. CG Tuscan Meathead says the 1 year mark for Commander Ahsoka Tano in Galactic Conquest is here. Much like Razor Crest, she will be moving out of this mode and relocated to a brand new game event. She'll be heading to an event called Proving Grounds. This event will be... I'm literally reading the post when it came out to it. The event will have a monthly cadence and allow you to earn her shards for free as long as you have the prerequisite to enter.
Yeah. Read the requirements.
Must not already own the unit at 7 stars.
Requirement 1.
Must not already own enough shards to 7-star the unit.
Requirement 2. And what is the third requirement?
Once you obtain the unit at 7 stars or have enough to 7-star the unit, they will no longer be accessible. This is not meant to be a source for shard shop currency, but this is an opportunity to get characters that were once exclusive to Conquest.
And what's the fourth requirement? Oh, wait a minute. There's no fourth requirement in there, is there? So the event gets released and all of a sudden there's a fourth requirement. And what is that fourth requirement? Oh, yeah. 4 million GP. That's my issue. That is my issue. They initially said, hey, this is going to be a catch-up event. It's a catch-up mechanic. And everybody was like, hey, this is good. This is quite good. Sure, it makes no sense for people that have already got these characters at 7 stars to be able to do it. I completely understand that. I mean, if I've already got it at 7 stars, I couldn't give a rat's ass about it. Sometimes I don't do galactic bounties because I'm like, why do I really need I can't be bothered to put it on auto and get the 10 shards. I just forget about it. I see it and think, I can't be asked to do it yet. Maybe I'll do it later. For this specifically, it's a catch-up mechanic. They gave us 3 requirements, right? And everybody was happy. Everybody was on board. But as soon as they did the update and everybody saw the event, what pissed everybody off? 4 mil GP. That was never in the announcement. That's the goalposts being moved. That's what's pissed me off about Proving Grounds. So that's why I said the numbers are irrelevant. They said one thing, they gave us another. One step forward with the GAC. This is a step back.
Why should somebody be able to access Proving Grounds and get the characters that you can only max out through playing hard mode Conquest, which has a requirement of 4 million GP, and also completing normal mode, not easy mode, but normal mode all the way through.
Because you can't get the character in normal mode.
Yeah.
This you can't.
This is for people that can achieve hard mode.
No. It's not. No. That's just. It's not. It's people that get the red box 3 months in a row in hard mode don't need this catch-up mechanic. People that can't get the red box in hard and people that it's physically impossible for them in normal mode in order to get the necessary shards need this catch-up mechanic. Now, the people doing normal mode are less than 4 mil GP. So if I was under 4 mil GP and I was getting that red box every single month, I'm still not activating that character. They bring this out and I'm thinking to myself, oh, thank you. This is really, really good news, CG. Thanks a lot. Every month, I'm going to be able to get an extra 20 shards. And if I want to stump up the crystals, I can get 60. And that's good for me because I'm under 4 mil GP. I'm stuck on the normal and I can't get the max character. But because they put a 4 mil GP bracket on it, it's like they have made this catch up purely for people that just don't get the red crate 3 months on a trot in hard mode.
How many people do you think that is?
Huh?
How many people do you think that is?
I don't know how many people. I don't know. I mean, the number of people's irrelevant. The number of people that are, I mean, I'm one of those people, but I'm one of those people because I don't bother with Conquest. I can't be asked with it. You know, I'm lucky if I hit the third reward box every single month. You know, I never get to Sector 5 anymore. But the problem, and this is, I'm going to go back to it. If you are really, really good and you get that red box 3 months in a trot, the event is irrelevant to you. If you don't get 3 red boxes in a row, then Proving Grounds is definitely going to help you to finish the characters so that, you can hit that 7-star mark and do whatever you want with those characters. It totally screws over everybody doing normal mode. And the people in normal mode, no matter how hard they try, no matter how maxed out they get, it screws them up. It's an event they can't do. And it's a kick in the teeth. It really, I think it is a kick in the teeth. And like I said, they didn't put it down as a requirement before, and now they've, if they wanted to say, oh, by the way, before they put the event out, before they did the update, and before everybody saw the event, if they wanted to announce, look, we've changed our mind, you can be pissed off at us, but we are changing our mind and we're putting a 4 mil GP cap on it, then people would be annoyed, but at least that's CG being honest and they're being, straightforward with the community. This isn't being straightforward with the community. It's saying one thing and doing another. And that is a step back. It sucks. It's crap.
You have to remember that the person who released this info was Meathead. Meathead is not normally the CM. We know this.
Yes,
this is something that he dropped the ball.
No, he didn't drop the ball. He's given information and then he posts the information he's given. He's not making this up. He is sat in a meeting with devs and with whoever, that knock-on meeting or a knock-off meeting. He's sat in a meeting and it's like, all right, okay, I need to make a post on this. Give me the data. Oh, what are the requirements? Oh, the requirements are 1, 2, 3. Thanks a lot. I'll write that down. I'll do the post. And then none of this is on Meathead at all. This is information given to him by his superiors.
Meathead has missed other things more times than I can actually remember to specifically count. But Meathead has missed other things.
But on this occasion, he's just the messenger. I'm going to shoot the messenger.
I'm not upset at him myself.
No, I'm not.
But he did drop the ball in this case.
He didn't drop the ball. He's the messenger. He's given information and he posts it.
He's not a regular player of this game. He asked the events server many, many times what to do in a certain situation that is non-regular player-esque. Where the trolls would simply say to them, get good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we knew that it was, by the way, thank you, Card Gaming. Hopefully spread that petition around. Let's get Hondo into the thing. Card Gaming, his first time chat was to ask for the Hondo link. Wolfell says in chat, normal mode can get the shards, but normal mode can't get, if you're playing entirely normal mode, you're not unlocking it even in a year. No. Even in a year, you are not unlocking a
7-star character.
A 7-star character in Conquest.
You would do ships. You would, because the ships unlock at 5.
Right, the ships do unlock at 5.
The ships unlock at 5. So on normal mode, if a ship is the reward, you will be able to get and unlock the ship. Obviously, still, it's going to take you longer than hard mode. But 7-star activations, you're not going to get it. So the normal mode people were looking at this and they were hopeful. They were cheerful. It's like, brilliant. Thank you. You've given us a catch up. You're giving us a way to catch up. Love it. Brilliant. Thanks a lot. Because let's not forget, this game has been going now for between 6 and 7 years, right? So we've got a new generation of whales and krakens. There are people between there are people between the 3 and 4 million mark with a couple of GLs and a bunch of GLs. A bunch of relics. So they've got that relic 3 requirement in order to be able to do Proving Grounds, but they don't have the GP. All right. And it's like, it's saying to the next generation of whales and krakens, tough.
No, it's
thanks
saying
thanks for spending money, but tough. You need to spend more and get yourself over the 4 mil GP threshold. And I just think that that's wrong. It's wrong. The whole thing is just backwards. It's wrong.
okay.
Okay.
I can tell you, you normally like to quote the 500 million number, right?
Oh, the 500 to 600K active
Or 500
users
to
on...
600,000. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
not million, but thousand.
Yeah, a 500,000. Yeah, 500,000 to 600K. Yeah. What's it at the moment?
I got an official as in the past month.
Mm-hmm.
The official number. I'm scrolling back to make sure that I have it here. Pardon me while I'm scrolling way back.
While you're doing that, Cascade, if they gave him the 4 mil GP information, why would he not post that?
It possibly was an accident.
Well, no, because it's a list of requirements. You know, he'll have been given a list of requirements to put in the post, and he only put the list of requirements in the post that he was given. That's what I'm saying. If he was given a fourth requirement, the 4 mil GP requirement, why did he not post it when he's got all of the? He will have been given the information either in an email or on a piece of paper at a meeting. I suspect it was probably an email.
All right. The number is 662,677 active accounts that have joined GAC within the past month.
Wow, that is that's impressive. The engagement is going up. It's getting higher and higher and higher, because before the crystal change, it was around. We know it was just over the 500,000 mark. We knew it was just over the 500,000 mark. So it being over, between 600,000 and 700,000 now, I think that's brilliant. Oh, I will. There's always an exception to the rule. The exception to the rule regarding the data, the information that was put in the post, the one outlier that lets the one outlier that lets him off the hook is if he copied and pasted the information from an email onto a post on the forums. That
which
would be
he
it.
has in the past.
That's
he has done that many times in the past.
Yeah, which means it's still not his fault, because he's copy and pasting an email, and the person that sent him the email with the requirements failed to put the 4 mil GP on there. So it's still not Meathead's fault.
All right. What percentage of that 660 some odd thousand players do you think, and I verified this information with Sep from SWGOH.gg, how many do you think are over 4 million?
But this is GAC. We're talking GAC active players.
GAC active players is also the number that came from the 600,000.
Yeah. So more people will. More people could be playing the game than that. That's just the numbers from GAC.
How many? What percentage of these 600,000 do you think are over 4 mil?
I mean, I suspect. I mean, I think it's probably. I mean, that number I'd say is probably over 50%. But there are people that play this game that don't do GAC. So I would actually put active players within the game at probably a hell of a lot more than 660,000. So how many based
in the last month? There have been 236,111 4 million plus accounts in GAC within the past month, as I said.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But obviously that number could be more, because there are more people that play the game that don't play GAC.
That's fine. But we're talking about rough numbers of people that we can quantify.
Yeah. So it's that plus or minus a certain percentage, and we don't know what that plus or minus percentage is specifically.
Yeah. So
but it's probably only going to be like it's probably only going to be single digits, isn't it?
30. So that's 35.5% of the people. What are you talking about? Single digits?
Oh, the plus or minus,
yes.
The margins, you've always got margins plus or minus something percent, haven't you?
So of those 236,000, what percentage do you think have unlocked Commander Ahsoka Tano?
No idea. I have 3 accounts all over 4 mil, and I've only got Cat unlocked on one of those accounts.
Okay, so that puts your percentage at 33.
Yeah, 0.33333.
Yeah, only 29.4%. This event that they've put out is for 70% of the population over 4 mil.
Yeah, that doesn't justify creating a 4 mil GP. That doesn't these numbers that you're giving me, it still doesn't justify what they've done or explain away what they initially said and what they came out with and actually did. That's why I said the numbers are irrelevant. The numbers don't matter. It's what they said and then what they did. And what they said and what they did are 2 completely different things. Okay. Now, sure, that's a very large chunk of the community that is going to do proving grounds, and they're going to get Ahsoka Tano shards. And they're also going to get, don't forget, they're not just going to get Ahsoka Tano, they'll get the other characters as the other characters fall out of cadence. I don't have Maul activated. I don't have Dad Bob Boba activated. So I'm going to be able to every month pick up 20 of each of those, because I'm not going to be able to pick up 20 Ahsoka, because on my main account, I've already got her, right? But that still screws over everybody under 4 mil just doing normal, that we're expecting to be able to do this based on the first post. Based on that post by Meathead, based on those requirements, those people were expecting to be able to do proving grounds. And now the event is in the event calendar. Now the event's in the event calendar in game with a timer on it. People are looking at that and going, thanks a lot, CG. You said I was going to be able to do it, and now I can't.
The other thing is, even then, even with, if it was under 4 mil, these people that are under 4 mil that are wanting to do the event, they still would not unlock them, because it comes around once a month, right?
Yeah. And they can only get a maximum of 60 of the character.
They can only get a maximum of 60 of the character.
Because you can only do 2 refreshes. And I don't have an issue with that. And here's the thing, that would make sense. That would make sense for the under 4 mil accounts, because then, somebody that's under 4 mil GP can't just buy and keep refreshing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. They can do 2 refreshes, and then they have to wait a month to be able to do it again. And then they can do 2 refreshes, and they have to wait another month again.
Let's say they go in with 0. That's 6 months. That is 6 months of grinding.
Yeah. 6 months of it's 6 months of grinding in order to get the character that if against people that they're not going to be competing against that already have that character. This is why I think it sucks. This is why I think it sucks. 6 months to get the character if you're under 4 mil GP, I think that's fine.
Real going nerdy. Thaddeus says 6 months of grinding. Can we talk about chafing?
Can we talk about chaff?
All right. Back on the topic here. You can't buy Traya. You can't buy Han. You can't buy General Kenobi.
No, but everybody knows that coming into the game. If all of a sudden, if started people, that coming into the game, they are raid rewards, and that's the way that's always been. And that hasn't changed. None of that has changed. All right. If they brought out a new raid and said, oh, we're bringing out a new raid and the 7-star one is going to get you the character. And then they brought the raid out and they're like, actually, it's you need to be over a certain GP threshold with each of the characters and they need to be a certain relic level. People would be like, that's not what you said. And they'd be pissed off. Okay.
Your guild has to be a certain GP.
This is you said it yourself. If someone's at 0, if someone is at 0, it's still going to take them 6 months to grind it, and they've got to stump up the crystals for it. You'd think CG would appreciate whales and krakens that don't have Cat, Maul, Dadbod, Bobber stumping up the money to buy the crystals so that they can do the refreshes and then go to the weekly shipment store, you know, if the character's there. Because every now and then, you know, those characters are in the weekly shipment store. They're still a premium, you know, still a bloody premium, 600 crystals for each 5, but it makes them money, you know. So not only are they not only have they screwed over a certain number of the community with regards what they said and what they've actually presented, but it's totally counterproductive to their bottom line, because that would be thousands, well, or maybe not thousands, hundreds of people that are spending money on in-game currency in order to do those extra refreshes every single month. And now they're not going to get any of that.
They can spend their crystals to get up to 4 million. If you're in a territory mode, if you're in a territory mode, you should be wanting to grow your roster. There's no more reason to slim your roster. There's no more reason to bust 74 your roster to where you're facing.
Yeah, but that's just it. You know, what you just said, you could do that with crap characters. You could bloat to 4 million with crappy characters. But we have people that we cover, you know, that don't have 4 mil GP accounts. You know, I know people that don't have 4 mil GP accounts that are still trying, you know, that they're grinding to that 4 million. But they're not just, oh, right, okay, you know what, let's just throw thousands and thousands of crystals on this crappy character that's only going to add 20k GP. That's not right, you know, that sucks. And that's not going to be, because people playing and the whales and krakens, they're not going to look at those crappy characters and go, you know what, I'll spend 10,000 crystals just taking those 4 characters up to 20k. That's 100k. We're talking millions of GP required, right? It takes time to generate 1 million GP. I mean, before Omicrons and before relics, I mean, even during, you know, relics just up to 7, it would take a good 12 months. It would take a good 9 to 12 months. Sorry, 12 months for free to play. And I would argue maybe 6 months pay to win, just to add 1 million GP to your account.
Okay, I'm gonna put it this way, and this is that your final answer on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give mine, and ladies and gentlemen, you decide who has the better argument here. Put it in the comments. Come tell us on Discord. Wolf Felster telling me what he thinks. You tell me what you think. The chat is divided in this situation because we need to get to a break with Gridan. My point is, if you weren't able to get the character during the initial unlock by playing normal mode, then you shouldn't be able to, at a normal mode GP, be able to proving grounds your way to a character that was meant and developed for rosters 4 million GP or higher. Hard mode is where you get conquest characters. Conquest characters are for Galactic Legends, which they've said their Galactic Legend counterpart or a galactic legend and their conquest counterpart should be the strongest, it all comes down to the fact that if you can't achieve it right away, you shouldn't be able to cheese your way to it. And it's all about that not everything is for everyone. Same with raids, same with Crankor, same with harder versions of territory battles. We're going to talk to Gridan after these messages about his return to streaming after a short break, and also his quality of life updates. We'll be right back.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with the digital features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod, cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, Podawans, and welcome back to another episode of Storytime with Uncle Thad. Today, we're going to revisit an old friend from the Rogue One series. That's right, friends. With the addition of Baze Malbus as June's login reward, I thought it would be a good idea to look at his kit and see where this Jedha Guardian was, and where he was from, and where his story fits into canon. Baze Malbus was a human male born 53 years before the Battle of Yavin on the desert moon of Jedha. For a majority of his life, Baze was a devout member of the Guardian of the Wills, a religious order on Jedha. Like the Jedi, the organization taught their followers about the Force and its connection to all things. The Guardians themselves were akin to warrior monks who protected the Temple of the Kyber and pilgrims who would travel to Jedha to visit it. When the Galactic Empire occupied Jedha and began mining the desert moon for its Kyber crystals, the Guardians became militant and defended their temple and its pilgrims. Most of the Guardians would use a traditional handcrafted light bow in the carrying out of their duties. Baze, however, did not. Baze Malbus used an MWC 35ST staccato lightning repeating cannon. Let me just say that again. Repeating cannon, not a repeating blaster. It's important to know that his gun was not a blaster. It was a cannon. It was meant to be mounted on a vehicle or done, I don't know, an animal like a rancor or something. This was not meant to be carried by a single individual. But Baze was just bad A enough to do just that. During the military occupation of Jedha's holy city, Ni Jedha, Baze's devotion to the Order began to fade, and he quickly became cynical about his faith and the galaxy at large. He eventually left the Order and became a freelance assassin. During the defense of the Temple of the Kyber, Baze and his friend Chirrut Imwe met Cassian Andor and Jyn Erso. This meeting would prove fateful, as it ultimately led to the destruction of the Death Star. While Baze and the rest of the Rogue One crew wouldn't be alive to witness the downfall of the galaxy's most deadly mobile battle station, it was the sacrifice, it was their sacrifice that led to its inevitable defeat. Now, I don't know what the future holds for this Guardian of the Whills, but with the Andor series on the horizon, it's likely that Rogue One characters could be getting a much needed touch-up to their kits. But for now, let's take a look at Baze Malbus's kit and see how it fits into Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Baze Malbus is a fearsome rebel fighter who makes up part of the Rogue One team. As a taunting tank, he dispels enemy buffs and inflicts a number of effective debuffs. Teamed up with his BFF, Chirrut Imwe, Baze becomes a force to be reckoned with on most rebel teams. Baze's basic ability allows him to slow an enemy down, and while this makes sense, being shot with a cannon should slow a person down. I'm just not sure it's enough. I mean, again, he's shooting someone with a cannon. Imagine like you took the top of a tank and you were running around shooting someone with it. I feel like that would do a lot more damage, and I feel like his gun, his basic ability, should do a lot more damage. That's just me though. His first special ability, Unload, is pretty awesome. It's an area of effect ability that deals damage to all enemies and additional damage to any Imperial enemy dumb enough to not be buffed while fighting him, or to let themselves be debuffed from his own attacks. It's a whole thing. His second special ability is a more powerful attack. Not only does it have a higher damage range, it also dispels and applies opposite buffs on enemies. And that's pretty solid, right? Now, his first unique special, For Jedha, really highlights the passion that Baze had for his homeworld and for the Order that he had lost faith in. It highlights his willingness to do whatever it takes to protect the Temple of the Kyber and seek revenge on anyone dumb enough to defile it. Now, his last ability, his last unique ability, Dauntless Courage, instead of highlighting the bond he had for Jedha, the love he had for Jedha, it really shows the love and the lifelong bond that he had with Chirrut Imwe. These two were inseparable, and even when Baze lost his conviction for the principles he once held dear, he still maintained his connection with that moral compass, his childhood friend and brother in the Force, Chirrut Imwe. Well, that's it for me, folks. Stay tuned next week for more Storytime with Uncle Thad on the Escape Podcast for Kids.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways want you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod Cast.
This week we have a guild classified that is near and dear to my heart, Yevon 4, the guild I grew up in. We are currently looking for some players to put us back at 50 members. If you are able to get your 600 per day, follow officer instructions for territory modes, and are looking for somewhere to call home, we'd like to talk to you. The ideal player would be a cam-ready player with a roster of at least 6 million. Our average player is over 7. This guild has become a family to me, and we'd love to have you join it. Head over to the Escape Podcast's Discord server and just message me, Paul Anthony, and let's see if you can come battle alongside us.
Attention, we are receiving an incoming transmission. Attention. Attention, we are receiving an incoming transmission.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Big guest this week. The man with the best hair in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You know him, you love him. Paul, introduce our guest.
I mean, you're already introducing him, Neil, but one of the most genuine people that we've ever met. He is, I remember the date that he started to blow up, and I still look back on it with a smile on my face because it was one of the most amazing success stories in Galaxy of Heroes, in streaming of all things, in my opinion. The one with lives, ladies and gentlemen, Gridan. How are you, sir?
Thanks for having me, guys. You are being very kind. I'm still recovering from COVID here, so no special hair. Face is bloated. I'm on steroids trying to push past all this, so we can I appreciate the compliments, but I have not merited them right now. Yeah. But thank you for having me on, you guys. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you.
You've been off a little bit, recovering from this because you got hit like a truck.
Yeah. I'm actually pushing my first symptoms. So at the time that we're recording this, it is the 27th. My symptoms actually started on the 15th. So I'm getting close to 2 weeks almost straight of symptoms. And we don't have to dive into stuff too much. I'm happy for people who had it easy. This was not one of those. I'm a pretty healthy guy. I like to go for runs and work out and whatnot. And I was genuinely worried about having a heart attack or clots. I started showing some symptoms for clots and strokes. And so mine, unfortunately, was not a light one, and it's taken a minute to recover. And today was probably the first day that I feel like okay-ish.
And today was your first day back on streams.
I streamed yesterday for a brief moment, but it was extremely hard on me.
A New York minute.
Yeah. So it's been rough. In the thick of my symptoms, I took a screenshot of it. I was wearing an oximeter because I was so worried about my blood oxygen level. It kept dipping below 90. And my heart rate, even just laying there, my heart rate was about 80, 90. I stood up to go to the bathroom and it pushed over 200. And I thought my
heart rate, your resting heart rate went into triple digits, just standing up.
I took about six steps. I thought my heart was going to blow up. I sat down. I was so scared. So, unfortunately, a very serious one. And it's knocked me down for quite a few days now. So,
well, we are
you for 6.
Yeah,
we are absolutely blessed and honored. I don't use that term very much, but that you are able to be here. But 5 days ago, in this whole COVID fever that you had, you came up with a bunch of quality of life updates that you wanted CG to change if you could.
Yeah, kind of threw them out there in the COVID fever and the COVID rant. Yeah, and I mean, just kind of diving into it, I think I just sort of reached a point actually being able to step away from the game, because prior to everything with COVID, I was in Croatia for about a week, with all the traveling and everything included. So really, it's been almost 3 weeks that I've had like serious engagement with the game. And with time zones and everything, I lost track of everything, and I was just like, I'm not going to be playing. Like, I'm just not, I tried to get my 600, but that was really about the minimum that I was going for. And stepping away for a second, it just like, I don't know. It just helped me see things, I guess, in a different light, maybe is the best way that I could put it. And I'm just, my post was strongly worded.
Spicy.
It was spicy.
I'm counting the F-bombs. I'm going to count the F-bombs while you keep talking.
So,
yes.
I really liked your first one. Yeah, I really liked your first one. All gear nodes guaranteed to drop 1 gear piece with a potential for 1 to 2 extra pieces.
Yep. And then we already start with the F-bombs.
We did.
Yeah. Obviously the gear crunch has been something that's been on the mind of SWGOH players, I mean, since the beginning. And it's exponentially just been getting worse and worse, frankly. And I think that's the overall with a lot of these quality of life things. And actually, Nev, you were kind of talking about it. I just don't care anymore. CG, I just don't. It's not okay. That's like the simplest way. If I could boil this all down, it's been 6 years. You have been extremely disrespectful to your players over and over and over again. And I just don't really care anymore.
I wouldn't go as far to say extremely disrespectful. There are other games out there, that are much, much worse.
But that's my point. I don't care. I don't care if something's worse. This is bad. That's why I don't care. And I think that's where my perspective changed a little bit, is I don't care anymore that something's worse. It's not okay what they do to us. And I mean, we're talking about a Star Wars mobile game, and I make it sound so serious. And so I don't want to like get overly dramatic, but like, that's just kind of where I'm at. I don't care, you guys. It's been 6 years. There are AAA multi-million billion-dollar games that have more to gain and more to lose, and they treat their people way better. I don't get it. Like, a game comes out a year later, it goes on discount for a little bit. Some DLCs are given for free. You buy new stuff. Like, there's always this like kind of cycle of like the content comes out, you get some stuff, they make their money, you move on. New stuff comes out, then that thing is, accelerated or given for free or a discount. And it just feels like constantly we are just slapped in the face with just, sorry, good luck. And I don't get it. So that was the first thing that came to mind, because the gear crunch has been there literally for 6 years. I'm sick of the gamble mechanics. I'm sick of that kind of risk. Give me one, just guaranteed. I have to have 50,000 Carbantes or whatever the number is. I have no idea. I'm just making that up.
I saw that post just, was it, 2 days ago?
Yeah. Like, that's ridiculous.
That's not to max those characters out. That's just to
one gear level.
1 Carbante.
Yeah.
That's just 1 per each character. If you wanted to max out those characters, obviously, then, it would be increased, 10, maybe 100-fold.
Yeah. And that's just ridiculous. It's a mobile game, you guys. We shouldn't be planning a year and a half. I'm still like, when am I going to get Malgus? Like, people who join the game now won't see Cam for 3 years. How is that a timetable? That's not okay. So, gear is obviously a huge part of that. And that's why I started with that one first, was just, that's not okay. Give us more gear. Like, just make it, you get a guaranteed drop. And then there's your little special stuff on top. You got a minimum of 1, potential of 3. I feel like that's fair.
I did like that accelerated farm for characters. Go ahead, Neil. Sorry.
No, yeah. I saw the, I can't remember where it was. I saw it. I don't know if it was Twitter. I don't know if it was the forums. I don't know if it was Reddit. But somebody actually said something that they could do very, very quickly and very, very easily without screwing anything at all, percentage-wise, is just put stun guns, stun cuffs, carbantes on the 6 energy nodes. Just put it on a 6 energy node.
Yeah.
Instead of it being on a 10 or on an 8, put it on a 6. And then at least people get more chances to get those pieces, because instead of, looking at something and going, great, I've got to use 10. I've got 144, so I've got 14 chances. Do it on the 6. It increases the number of chances of being able to get that gear. And it's simple, it's easy, and it's something that they could probably do with a hot fix, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was something that, there are ways that they can alleviate the gear crunch with simple hot fixes, not big game updates, hot fixes.
Just make it a little bit easier for people.
Yeah. Go in. Oh, assault battles. Let's double all of the purples.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was actually one of the. That was my next one, basically. Yeah.
Assault battles, whatever. Double it all. It's ridiculous how terrible rewards are for weeks worth of time and effort. Raids, you wanted 1 full piece guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
No more green, blue, green, purple that everybody has 19K of, as you said. This is the one I didn't agree with.
Yeah, totally.
Every time new squads get released, 1 character at a time, Inquisitors, Bad Batch, etc. When the next character in the squad is released, all prior characters go to an accelerated farm status.
Yes.
I still think it should be a year before accelerated farm hits, but if you are saying, like, I could get on board if you say the first week that they're in, that they're farmable,
just to
let them go
give
accelerated and then kick them back down.
Just give them a little. That's all I'm saying. Not kick them straight to accelerated, but just when they join the game. So like with Inquisitors right now, I can't remember who came first, but whatever sister came first,
second,
and you're like, cool, yeah. So here's your sister, and until the next one, or sorry, she joins. And then nothing happens. But then when the next sister shows up, and it's like, hey, remember, you're still working towards the sisters. We want to get you guys excited about the new squad coming, kind of amp you guys up. So you can already start farming that one while this event is going on briefly, and then it drops again. But just something to like keep you kind of interested, because at this point we're like,
keep you engaged.
What about bonus drops? Bonus drops for 1 week of that character.
Yeah. Whatever way that it, accelerated, whatever.
I like
just something to connect the previous characters that have already come out. Just as a way to excite people up.
You said cut the QOL crap and just give Conquest Pass benefits for free. Allow people to enjoy the game in a different way.
Conquest 1, I loved it. That is really fun.
1 to 6 was awesome, and then they changed it in 7.
They were fun.
It made it a grind. It was so much fun.
I didn't I took Conquest seriously, but I didn't take it like it was like a different game mode, and it was this way to experience the game that you've never done before. And so in my mind, that's what it was for. It was mostly for fun. Like, we're getting some rewards and stuff. Like, I know we're getting important stuff. But it felt like almost this olive branch of like, dude, just have fun. Here's some weird data discs.
Have some fun,
Do some stuff. Get a character. It's cool. I enjoyed it. Do some playing around with your roster. Some theory crafting.
But only if you're over 4 million. Let's move on here.
Yeah.
I mean, this one is obvious. Ban every cheater in GAC.
Pretty easy.
I mean, that's pretty easy. Fix the bugs. Take a year on it. You don't care. By the way, that was the 7th one, Neil. You missed that one.
I disagree with that. I disagree with the grid on that one. The banning people that cheat in GAC.
I'll just keep them.
No. I don't think they should be banned. I think the accounts should be deleted.
Oh, better. Whatever form.
I think
permanently get rid of them.
Yeah, you kick them off. You give them a chance to redress, and if it's proven that they're a cheat, it's like bye account, deleted.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, just delete the account.
You are not buying your way back into this game. You are not. It's do not go. It's go to jail. It's basically a death sentence in the game. Your account is gone. Forget about it. Delete.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, delete it. That's a better word than ban.
I've been calling for this one for the longest time. Let us practice WAT cam missions through the journey guide whenever we want for no rewards.
Yes.
If it's in the
train their rosters, yeah.
If it's in the journey guide, you should be able to practice it or play it whenever it is available.
Absolutely.
The only exception would be the 1 year, like Luke, like Malik and stuff like that when it first came out.
Oh, gotcha.
The 1 year cadence.
Without rewards. Without rewards.
But without rewards. But but still, for those 1 year cadence, if it's territory battles, all the time playable without rewards, so you could practice it.
Yeah.
But even
the other journey guide stuff. Yeah, I gotcha. It just, I don't get why they wouldn't let us do that. It's such a stupid mission, anyways. Like, just let us practice it. It doesn't harm you.
It doesn't. It does not. No ticket system for GLs. We worked for 6 months to a year for that.
Yep.
I'll meet you halfway. Ticket system for the ultimate, but not the unlock. I was about
to say, I think that is a happy. I think that's a relatively good compromise. So you get it at 7 stars so that you can start gearing it up, and you only have to do tickets for the ultimate. I would say that that's a happy medium.
Okay.
Compromise.
I would say then I would cut it from the 10 attempts down to like.
Oh yeah.
Either one.
Not
or
10
like
attempts.
3 tops. But I can compromise with that. But it doesn't.
Tickets. Yeah.
Yeah. Tickets. I don't get it, man. We just already grinded for a year on this. Just let us have it.
Ships.
Let us have it.
I disagree with you on ships. Ships is the ultimate.
What surprise.
Now, ships is the ultimate underdog test.
You're a ship elitist, though, Paul. You're a ship elitist, and you know it.
I'm a ship aficionado. I wouldn't call myself an elitist.
Okay.
But
agree to disagree.
In my opinion, the less you put, the less you put on defense, you open yourself up for more offense. Having more than you can play with, some guys just want the handful.
Yeah.
It all comes down to the fact that you are playing with your roster, and you're trying to make smart decisions. Do I add an extra defense here? But you want 69 more ships and 5 more capital ships.
I want options.
Was there significance to the 69?
Maybe. No, I'm sick of it being so. I mean, there's so many options. Like, I'm sick of ever since ships came out. It was you have one dominating meta, and then you're absolutely screwed out of that, and then another thing gets added, and then you kind of had this moment of things kind of go back and forth. Like at first is rebels, and then you had negotiator dominate, and then you had negotiator malevolence, and then and now we have the executor. Like, I'm sick of this cadence of just like, you have one option and otherwise screw you. Like, just give us more options. That's all I'm asking. There's so many ships, so many capital ships, so many unique ways that you can come up with capital ships and pilots to just give people more options. It's not that difficult. Just give us more options. They don't have to be the best fleets, but like, you got Mace, who doesn't even count for anything. And then you have like Rebels and Empire are kind of in a similar sort of range. Then Negotiator, Malevolence, and then way up there you got Executor. And I'm sick of that. I'm sick of it. It's so stupid. It's just, I just want more options.
Bring a conquest counterpart to the earlier GLs.
Mm-hmm. Maybe bring another conquest out. I hate that there's a tier system within the GLs.
I agree.
GLs,
that when they announced disgusting. It, GLs were on par GLs with other GLs. Exactly.
Always going to be on par, and they would always have. There's always been a rock, paper, scissors. That's great. That's beautiful. Because if you went for C, you could dominate JML, but then you'd probably lose to SOKR, blah, 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 blah. Now, all of a sudden, you got these guys clumped here, and then you got JMK. Once again, you don't got to do it. Stupid.
Cut the price of every pack. Hyperdrive is now $30 to $50. I like keeping it at $50 from now on.
Mm-hmm.
Every pack is 50 cents to $25.
I don't care. I don't care about their bottom line anymore at all. I am no longer giving them the excuse. They do not have to work. I want to make this abundantly clear. I have nothing against any employee at CG. I'm talking about business practices that could be coming from EA.
Yeah, practices, not the people.
People are great. Crumb, fantastic person. I love him. Doja, Meathead, they're great people. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about business practices.
Yeah.
Yes. And frankly, I don't care anymore. You are telling me I can spend $100 on something and not even get a character maxed. That is beyond ridiculous. And if you told somebody that you could go buy a Carbonti for 50 cents, who wouldn't buy a Carbonti for 50 cents? Like, let's be real.
I'd buy 10.
And if somebody in the, the other little thing that I threw down there was a gear pack, like a gear. Yeah. Take your one character from level 101 and you just buy this one pack and it takes it to level 85 and you go straight to relic 0 or whatever for
13 relic 0. Yeah.
Yeah. For, $20 or $30 or whatever. That's all of a sudden worth it to me. But this bull crap of buying one gear piece in one gear level that requires 6 for like $20
each.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
No more BS gambling. I know you got to get to Gridzy session here, so we're gonna fly through this a little bit quicker. Yep. No more BS gambling. 5 to 3:30.
Yes.
My favorite time that I ever enjoyed spending money on this game was the Separatists. Droideka, 12-piece minimum, 12 shard minimum.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was the best.
Yeah.
And I had no problem that it was instead of that it was what, 2,100 instead of 1,599.
Yeah, it's gambling. Like this is a mobile game, and I know there's not a lot of children that are playing it, but this is gambling.
At the same time,
you're playing a slot system to see if you're going to hit the jackpot, and that's extremely predatory. That's not okay.
You say lower the price, guarantee worth. I have always looked at the packs as I'm buying 5 shards. Yes, I may get more.
Yep.
But you have to quantify that you're going to get 5 shards out of this.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah, and I think 5 is beyond insulting.
Yeah, it is. That is astronomically wrong, but we've seen it for the longest time. That it's become commonplace to some.
Yeah.
Bring some crystals back to Arena. I think that they should just do something different, a different Arena store, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I
can get behind
with the core gear.
Yes.
The Carbontis, the
Give
cuffs.
us the Carbontis. Yes. I would be okay with that too. It feels like I forget about it. I mean, I do my one arena for the daily. I forget about the store. It's useless for the most part. I know some people, there's still occasionally a gear piece that shows up in there. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm glad that's there. But I wish the times that happened were basically opposite. That it would be important enough for me to check it and be like, there's my Carbontis, there's my stun cuffs, there's my stun guns, there's my Kairos. Like, give me something, because right now nobody cares. It's a waste of time. Something that we poured our heart and soul into for 5 years, and we're just like, okay, well.
Capital ship events shouldn't be once, as you said, once a year. I know it's not once a year, think all capital ship events should follow the initial capital ship event cadence. Every 3 days and twice on Sunday, like you said.
Yeah. I did not fact check this, but somebody said it was like 20 odd months to get Executor. And once again, we're talking You want me to plan my life around a mobile game for 2 years? Like, are you? I'm not asking for even like 1 month. I'm just saying, are you kidding me? 2 years? We're talking like tops. Most things should be like 3 months. So yeah, if once every 3 days, twice on Sunday, whatever it is. I think I don't get why it has to be so long. Just, we did all the work. We're here. We took these stupid characters to relics for this garbage thing that had the most overpowered, stupid ship in the game. Let us get it. I'm sick of it.
This next one is the one that I actually stood up and applauded when I read it and was going, yes, Grid, yes. And I think that this should be a new calendar. Free, mind you.
Every month, free.
Every month you get a 7-day rotation calendar. Cairo, Carbonti, Stun Gun, Stun Cuff, Zeta, Omicron.
There's no reason
and
that
it's
can't
5
be a
of
thing.
each of the pieces.
Yeah, it's just a nice little dude. That's a month. That's a month.
Yeah.
And you would get at most 4 Zetas.
What about
maybe give us an extra one on the last day or something? But
what about instead of having to do a monthly calendar to keep you engaged? What if it was a weekly calendar? Grab it on Sunday.
Yep. There you go. That would be great. If they want to up the player engagement, they want to get you even more addicted. Yes, Sunday you can pop and you can grab more stuff. Like if you did 7 days in a row, you got your whatever, stung. Maybe they start with the carbon. Whatever form. You make it to Sunday, 7 days in a row, boom, we'll give you an extra. That's your little loot pack. You get one more extra something of those 7 things. You get an additional 5 Kairos or an additional Zeta or an addition, a random one more day doubles up.
Daily, daily reward for finishing all the stuff is 100 to 500 crystals and a chance at a full gear piece.
Yep. Why not?
I love these ideas. Fun milestone rewards, like every time you hit 1 million, you get a gear pack.
Yeah. Here you go. You reached your 100th 7th star. Thanks for playing our game for so long. Here's a little gear piece for you. Enjoy those characters. Oh, you got another 1 million GP. Congratulations. That takes a long time. That was a lot of hard work and effort. Here's a Zeta. I don't care. Just
full Zeta, mind you. Full Zeta.
Full Zeta. Why is it so hard to say thanks for playing our game and giving us billions of dollars?
Because it's not the anniversary or May the 4th. Although May the 4th, they didn't even give us a full Zeta, which was like, are you kidding me?
I fully disagree with this one. Fix GAC matchmaking to include key stats, characters, mods, ships, etc., not just win-loss. I love the new system. Because if whoever I matched up with, the majority of the time, because as Neil says, there's always an exception to a rule.
Always.
The majority of the time, I'm as good with my roster as you are with yours. I have had more 5 to 10 point losses in this system than I did in the previous one. I've had more 5 to 10 point wins in the in this system than the previous one. It's working. To quote Anakin himself, it's working. It's working.
Yeah.
I'd still like the group stuff. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I'd like the not so much the matchmaking to change, but once the matchmaking's done, make it more equitable by taking the person with the lowest GP and take the top 80 or the top 100. Then the person with the lowest GP in the group of 8, everyone then gets equalized to that GP. So you don't alter a person's top end of their roster, what they've really, really worked on, but having some, you know what it's like, Grid. Sometimes you might go up against someone that has a kitchen sink that's got 2 million more GP than you. And you're thinking, no matter how good or how skillful you are, they can just cheese their way through and you can't cheese your way through them. So I think there are ways to make it a little bit more equitable.
They know how to use that kitchen sink as well as you do without your kitchen sink with your little tub in the backyard drinking moonshine, okay?
My kitchen sink's all gear 11s.
Whose fault is that?
The example that comes to mind is you guys have seen him around a lot. Raging Elephant.
Oh, love Raging.
He's actually since quit the game actually because of this though.
Really?
He has a beautiful account. He is such a smart player. He's an incredible player. But at the end of the day, he has a ceiling. He cannot beat people unless they let him. And I don't like that because he was such a good player and he was punching above his weight group. But no matter what, he would hit a ceiling where he couldn't beat people because they had 6 Galactic Legends, 5 Galactic Legends. He was working on it, but his growth with GAC was stunted because of his progress. So he would make it up, and then no matter what, he would hit a ceiling and he couldn't beat people, just literally the way that the roster is. And then he would get knocked down, and
but
he
was he going
punished.
6-6 in a season?
No, he wasn't able to. He couldn't.
He couldn't even get 6. Could he get 5?
I don't know what his exact record was, but it was a losing record. If he won, it was like surprise, surprise, because he got to that point. He's such a good player. He got to the point he couldn't play against those rosters. It just, unless again, if the player said, okay, I'm not going to put my 6 Galactic Legends on defense so you can actually face my roster and beat things, then he could beat them. But if it was any, normal minded player for the most part, not even some god tier player, just somebody that's like, oh, I have Galactic Legends, you don't, so I'll put him on defense, and then he couldn't win. And it just broke my heart because he's such a good player and it just crushed him. So I think this matchmaking, while win and loss is a step in the right direction, I think taking into account some of these other aspects, and I'm not saying it has to be perfect. I'm not saying it has to be 3 GLs to 3 GLs. Like, it'll always happen. But I think just opening that door to say, we want to get you guys a little bit closer in matchmaking to make this a little bit fair so that we avoid the extremes. No GLs versus 6 GLs, 1 versus 5. Like, the game doesn't work that way. You will lose unless your opponent
doesn't. Unless
and that's not. DNS, I don't like that.
Yeah, and if that's not a win. You haven't won. Your players just lost by default because you did nothing in order to achieve victory.
That's super hollow. I've been there. Where I have 5 and I go against somebody. He had none, and I was like, I literally sent him a message. I was like, sorry.
All my 1 and 2s were from bad weeks, and the 1 was thanks to somebody DNSing or not putting their GLs on defense, and me going, okay, thank you, Aaron Jesus.
Yeah, thanks for letting me play. Like, how sad is that?
Yeah.
So.
Your last one. Enter guild challenge mode for fun and practice to be able to join events together. Once again, a sandbox mode.
Sandbox.
What about, and I've said this for the longest time, allow you to challenge your allies using ally points.
Why not? Like, why not? I even, when I was writing this, actually, that the join events together, I didn't elaborate on that too much. I was even considering like mini raids. Like, imagine the Acklay mission. The Acklay mission is interesting because there's actually like 3 teams, right? There's the Acklay, which is technically fighting everyone. And then you got your pair of Jedis, and then you're the Geos. How cool would that be if you went into something like that and one of your guildmates, like live, was controlling the Jedi and you're controlling Geos and you're fighting in Acklay? Obviously that doesn't work because you guys have to fight each other too. But the concept of
why not fight each other?
Or fight each other. Yeah. I mean, just like this concept of having a live interaction with a guildmate and you guys do whatever event it is together. Like, let's even talk about like some assault battles just for fun. Like the ATAT, or sorry, the ATST. Like, bring in another team and let you fight alongside a guildmate and do this live interaction, fighting a little mini raid boss or something. Just like, why not? Just for fun. Or let us do 5v5 against each other. But also little things like that.
I love your idea, and your Acklay idea kind of inspired me. Make it a Geonosis Arena holotable where everybody's fighting each other.
Grab 10, or 20, 25, whatever, grab 20 guildmates, just have it go open. Whoever wants to play, you start, you pick a Jedi, you pick a super B2, or you pick a, Mace or Django or, one of the Acklays, one of the little Geos. Who cares? You guys all just get some person and you guys just go fight. Like, it would just be fun. Why not?
Mm-hmm. And that completes the list that you put on there that I wanted to bring you on to talk about. And I think that we've kind of talked it out a little bit better, in my opinion. I think we could refine this list and, actually be community managers.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So obviously the way that I wrote it was much more aggressive. I was in the thick of COVID and very frustrated and angry and mad. And so, but this is kind of the tone that I wanted to give off of, simply put, I don't accept the excuses anymore. I don't, and I don't care. I just don't accept their excuses anymore. They're not valid, in my personal opinion. And I want to see more love given to the players that have dedicated 6+ years, at this point to this game. This doesn't feel like asking for a lot. And when people say like it is, I'm like, nope, this is not asking for a lot. This is decency.
You're saying that it's not okay, and you're tired of pretending that it is.
Exactly.
All right, so we're going to see Gridan in Joker makeup next week.
Absolutely. I know nothing's going to change. That's actually how I ended the post, was basically saying this is pretty much a useless post anyways, because I know nothing's going to change, sadly. I maintain that, but I'm at least going to act as a voice to say that. I'm going to try, but nothing's probably going to happen.
We do appreciate you, Gridan, a lot.
Absolutely.
Neil, anything else before we send him off to Gridsy sessions?
No, let's let him get away to Heinzie so that he can do his Gridsy session.
Yeah, Grid, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you for taking a little extra time as well. I know Heinzie is waiting for you. Do me a favor, just have Heinzie mention the Hondo thing. We're 32 signatures away.
Oh, sweet.
We need to get to 500. That's my wish. Can you make a wish for me? Can you grant me my make-a-wish?
I will pass it along to him. You can be sure of that.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, check him out. Twitch.tv/Gridan, GRIDAN __. That's 2 underscores because he's twice as special. Coming up in this break, the latest episode, once again, of Dickie and the Noob. And then, I don't know if we'll get Patreon's choice. We'll see what time we come back. Right after these messages right here on the Escape Pod. Cast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod. Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Padawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards, including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Vicky, this really is not what I was expecting when I found out we were taking in a child.
I get you, Noob. Rona isn't exactly what I was expecting either. She can be a little abrasive, yes, but I'm sure she'll grow on you.
Grow on me? Like a fungus?
She's a teenager. It's a rough time for anyone, and she's had it hard, left with only an assassin droid with no personality to take care of her. Besides, she could be the key to finding Hondo.
She's been on this ship for 3 days, and I've considered launching her out of an escape pod 3,688 times. Literally.
Like there's nothing to drink on this ship? This is totally lame. I always hated this rust bucket.
We filled the water reservoir when we left Skoojan, and there's like a year's supply of Jawa juice and blue milk, so please, stop complaining.
I need a little something stronger, capiche?
Rona, you're 13. You shouldn't be touching that stuff.
Whatever. Don't project your human values on me, old man. Weak ways mature faster. I've been smoking death sticks since I was like 9.
You know that alien physiology is part of my programming, right? Weak ways mature at the same rate as regular meat bags.
Look, I'll make you a deal. If this lead you gave us pans out, I'll fill the freezer with thallus iron ice cream.
My dad let me do whatever I want. I hate you guys. But this lead is totally legit. M1K30 is my dad's top informant. If any knows where he is, it's him.
M1K30. Why does that name seem so familiar?
We're arriving at Coruscant. God, I can't wait to get off this ship.
Hey, I'm looking for M1K30. Do you know where I can find him?
That's me.
You're human? Why do you have a droid name?
I need to conceal my true identity. I could get in real trouble revealing all the top secret information I have. Just call me Mike.
You hid the name Mike as M1K3. Oh, boy.
Don't listen to my droid. We're bounty hunters. We're looking for Hondo Onaka. We've been hired to bring him to the holotables. Can you point us in the right direction?
Well, let me first say that the future of the galaxy is quite extensive, with exciting new game modes, new characters we all love, and exciting GAC changes that are universally loved.
Okay, but what does this have to do with Hondo?
It's funny you should ask that. Today, my super secret, super accurate sources have informed me that behind the scenes, Kathleen Kennedy has been removed from her position and stripped of all her power over at Lucasfilm, and Hondo will be making all the decisions moving forward.
What are you talking about?
I've also been told that once in power, Hondo will retcon the sequels, essentially erasing them all from Star Wars media, and that before watching any further Star Wars content, you will be required to be mind-wiped by a Jedi and totally forget their existence.
So you're trying to tell me that Hondo is at some movie studio? What does this have to do with the holotables?
All existing Resistance characters on the holotable will be converted to Gungans, and all First Order characters will become forgotten enemies from the Clone Wars. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren will become Darth Jar Jar.
Can we speak to one normal person on this journey?
Normal? There's nothing normal about what's going on behind the scenes at Capital Games. My sources tell me that they've put a meathead in charge, while the community has been blessed with the addition of a crumlet to the community.
Well, that's the first thing you've said that makes sense.
Sense? You sense it too? There is a great disturbance in the Force. My sources are now telling me that after being removed from her position, Kathleen Kennedy has become a Force ghost and is now more powerful than you can possibly imagine. She has reinstated the sequel trilogy and is putting 3 Disney Plus shows into production. The first show will be an entire season of Finn trying to tell Rey that he's Force sensitive. He won't be doing anything, necessarily dangerous, she'll just keep interrupting him. Then there's the buddy comedy with BB-8 and D.O. going on a coming-of-age journey to the wine country of Naboo. And finally, there's a comedy from Maz's Cantina where John Ratzenberg will play the role of Chris Cliven.
Do you think that if we walk away really slowly, Noob, he'll notice?
Notice? We'll be given 3 days notice to farm all the Ewoks to Relic 7 for our new legendary, Sindel the Little Girl. This is the little girl that Drew Barrymore played at the Ewok movies. This event will be available for only 4 hours and will never return. Also, my sources say that Drew Barrymore will be reprising her role, but that's for another thing.
I'm afraid to say anything right now.
Anything? I'm now being told that Kathleen Kennedy is retconning me. I have been erased from history, but Dave Filoni has made me canon again in the Filoniverse. Did you see that? Did I just flicker out and back into existence? Whoa. Am I in the Matrix? Matrix? Keanu Reeves confirmed as Revan? Wait, no. Bob Chapek just had lunch with his daughter, who said Keanu Reeves would totally never go to the dark side and has scrapped the entire project.
This guy actually makes me miss Rona.
Rona? Oh no. Is she here? I'm out of here.
Oh, thank God.
See, Rona just saved us.
I guess, but please tell me we're not getting her any ice cream.
Oh God, no, but unfortunately we're no closer to finding Hondo. Did somebody say Hondo?
You're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, here we are. It's the end of the show.
and Bob is still in sleep mode.
Yeah, still no Bob. Bob's still in sleep mode. We'll square the AI away for next week. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, Neil, what do you got coming up on the channel this week?
GAC. More GAC, and I might do some more Runes of Magic. In fact,
that was fun.
In fact, I probably will do some. I probably will do some more Runes of Magic. Actually,
Yeah.
I did a couple of sessions. I did a 4-hour session and I did a 3-hour session. Just sat drinking coffee. So I'll do some GAC and I'll do some Runes of Magic for sure. Definitely.
Rune and chill.
Absolutely. Rune and chill. Yeah.
We're still playing Kirby on Vault 37 Studios. Having fun with that. We'll likely do that again on Sunday. Looking forward to hopefully seeing some of you guys there. 29 more signatures as we're going off the air. 29 more signatures needed in the Hondo petition. I need to get there by 9 a.m. on tomorrow morning, Eastern. 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. Get us to 500. Spread the word and, blow the conch shell. We are not going to be able to get to Patreon's Choice this week, but we'll save all the questions that are in there for next week. Neil, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, good to go, mate.
And once again, after the events of the past few weeks, listen closely. Be nice to each other, damn it. Neil?
Push the button.
Don't mind if I do.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the scene. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, the Escape Pod cast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.